Hey everybody, happy hump day. It is Mega Immune Mama. Boy, I sure feel like it's been a long time since I have put out a video. I had an appointment in Kansas City Monday with a surgeon, which we'll talk about here in a second. But first thing I want to address is the No Kings protests that happened in my area on Saturday. And I wanted to do the video before today, but as you can look at me, I have been really extremely sick. And like I said, I had to go to Kansas City to see a transplant slash everything else he does doctor. I am not getting a transplant, but I will be, after the first of the year, having to go and get a gastro stomach stimulator, more or less like a stomach pacemaker. But before that happens, they did figure out, well, they haven't figured out what the underlying issue is, but there's something happening, which I have said to my doctors here in Springfield for quite a minute. And this doctor in Kansas City is actually taking the time, and he's going to figure it out because something is really wrong with my stomach. But anyways, on to different news. So, the No Kings protest in Springfield was amazing. There were probably, I think they estimated 2,500 people more than what we had at the first one back in June. So that was quite a good turnout until I had posted on my channel about Move On, or one of those No Kings, like one of those organizations had messaged me to let me know that at 1:30 p.m. a truck had sprayed chemicals into our protesters, the crowd of our protesters, which I knew because I was there. And I got a little bit, it affected like the vapors, I guess, a little bit in my lungs, but I wasn't close enough to literally be sprayed. People did go to the hospital. Some of them were burned, and a couple of other things that go along with it, but I can't remember what they were treated for. So the reality of it is these people that were spraying, it was a big old country boy, you know, one of them cornbread fed motherfuckers in a big old truck with a big old huge, bigger than life Trump flag on the back of it. They kept driving by, and as more people had come and we were well on our way, and, you know, fun things were happening, and, you know, speakers and different things going on, you know, like I said, we noticed that this truck kept going and going. And around 1:30, as it was reported, they come by, and when they did, they had, it looked like, kind of like one of those white, like water holders or something like that that you would see on like a farm truck. Well, this one had a sprayer, and they turned the corner to, because on both sides of the street where we were, there was like a smaller crowd starting to form opposite of where we were. But the ones that had gotten there before the protest started, we were on the side where it was just, the street was lined. It was just packed. And they come around the corner, and when they come around the corner starting to face us going in our direction is when they started spraying. Like I said, I had already moved out of that area just a little bit, thank God, because I've been sick, as everybody knows, for quite a minute with this chest stuff I have going on. And, but I caught like a vapor, and I inhaled it. But I don't feel any other effects other than my chest being really heavy, which I have been treated for that, and I have medication and an inhaler for that. But that goes back and proves that people for a No Kings rally peacefully protesting, and it was MAGA that came out and attacked us because free speech is okay for them as they are rallying around our Capitol and tearing it down and chanting and doing everything that they did. And before that, the whole entire time that Biden was president, all you heard was MAGA talking shit about getting rid of him and his family and all this other stuff. And we might have been upset about it or disgusted by it or embarrassed by it. But at the end of the day, the First Amendment is faceless. It has no political affiliation. Freedom of speech is freedom of speech. And if it wasn't, probably a lot of shit that MAGA said over Biden's 4 years, people would have gotten in trouble. But Biden isn't that petty to want to prosecute everyone and anyone for anything, especially his political opposition. Right? And now, Trump, I saw a clip from an interview that he was doing with Maria Bartiromo, of course, from Fox News, talking about they are taking the time of the shutdown to literally gut, quote unquote, all Democratic programs, the freeloader handout programs, which to them is SNAP benefits for people that need it, health care benefits for millions and millions of people. You know, that is what they are doing. And Trump has fluffed it up to MAGA to say, yeah, I'm cutting all these Democratic programs and free handouts and blah, blah, blah. But what MAGA doesn't realize is those free handout programs are literally health care, food stamps, other, food pantries, other stuff that is not going to just affect anybody that opposes MAGA and Trump. It affects all of us. And, I see more and more MAGA people coming out, the FAFO season, which I don't like to call it that. Either you're going to come to reality and be on the right side of history, or you're not. That is the point that we're at. But the bottom line is proof in your face is not good enough. Look at the programs that he is cutting. I'm on disability after all of the years that I worked 1, 2, 3 jobs being a single mother, because his father from Texas wasn't forced to pay child support. I raised my son. And although I paid taxes for other people to have assistance or whatever, yes, I did get assistance when my son was growing up, but it was never, woo, I have a son, I'm going to go get welfare and I'm never going to do anything. If I needed it, it was, to me, the very last straw. If my, no matter how many jobs I had, if I couldn't pay rent, my bills, and put food on the table, I would ask for assistance. But the very second I was able to, again, stand on my own feet, rock it like a mom boss, I let it go. I was never one to hold on to it. Well, now, after all of the years that I worked paying into the system, Trump is worried about the little $194 a month that I received that I just got a notice that has now been cut from me. And I'm on disability. And I literally have to live off of $1,009 a month. That's what's left after I pay for my Medicare premium and, you know, my extra my medication, my pharmaceutical cost. I have extra coverage for that, so I don't have to pay any more than that, because if I had to pay, it'd be more just not having that extra. So I have that. And by the time all of that is out and said and done, $1,000 a month. And they're so worried about my little 194. Yeah, I'll be starving. I'll be starving next month. But you know what? They might have put me on death row like they have millions and millions of other people. But just know, America, that I am. And I breathe, I bleed, I bathe Antifa. And I will go down with every ounce of what I have to fight for this country until I die. And I'm making peace with that. And it just sucks that, you know, I didn't commit a crime to be convicted and sentenced to death by Trump and MAGA Republicans. It's not fair. I've paid. I'm not a nobody. I got sick at 47, some fluke illness. And here I am on full disability. Can't work. I don't think I'll ever work again, to be honest. That wasn't my choice. At 47, I had my shit rocking. I didn't choose this. I'm 52 now. Do you think that this is how I want to live? When I made a lot of money, and after it's all said and done and all the years I paid into Social Security, they now feel that I don't deserve any more than $1,000 a month. It's wrong on every level. But if I was a convicted criminal or, you know, whatever else, if I, you know, had a thing for children, or, you know, I wanted to play with the devil's advocate while crying that I'm a Christian, and if I was to call out violence as I scream that I'm a peacekeeper, then maybe I would have been shown some mercy and not sentenced to death. But anyways, guys, so that's a little bit of stuff that's been going on. With everything else crazy going on, I really don't have much more to say than that. I could really jump on a soapbox. I'm not gonna. Don't have the energy. And today, I don't give a fuck. Anyways, keep demanding Epstein files. Be vigilant. And if anybody, if you see MAGA or police or ICE or whoever, because in my area right now, ICE and National Guard has not made it to us, and I'm sure eventually it will, but it hasn't as of yet. But what Trump and MAGA and everybody is counting on is you having a reaction to their actions. They were told that they could be lawless. You can pick somebody up for just speaking Spanish. You can pick somebody up for the color of their skin. No discrimination there, right? So, don't give them what they want, because the minute that we lose our cool and lose our heads, riots will start, shit will happen, and that will give dipshit in the White House every excuse to invoke the Insurrection Act, and we do not want to give them that, because once we do, game over. Anyways, guys, stay vigilant. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and just love everybody you can. Till the next video, guys. Bye.